Welcome to Famous Rewind. Two and a Half Men was once one of the most humorous, bold, and beloved sitcoms on television. The show delivered endless laughter, outrageous situations, and unforgettable characters that left a lasting mark for years. But behind the spotlight and the laughs, time has brought many changes. Join us as we look back at the cast, explore their career journeys, and remember the faces who have since left the screen. Evelyn Harper emerges as the image of a modern man trapped in the tragic comedy of declining middle-class masculinity, portrayed by Jon Cryer. Born on April 16, 1965, Cryer took on the role at the age of 38, bringing to life an Evelyn Harper marked by a disheveled appearance, a hurried voice, and the constant anxiety of a man accustomed to dependence, yet perpetually afraid of losing his support. Evelyn does not collapse loudly. His failures are revealed through petty calculations, dependent relationships, and a pervasive sense of being overtaken by modern life. At the age of 60, Jon Cryer is recognized as a representative figure of American television for his portrayal of the tragic comedy of postmodern masculine crisis. Berta appears as a representative image of the working class imbued with a rough-edged feminist spirit, portrayed by Conchetta Ferrell. Born on March 28, 1943, she took on the role at around the age of 60, bringing to the character a gruff, blunt, and formidable presence shaped by a lifetime of labor. Berta's authority does not stem from status but from lived experience, a biting sarcastic tone, and an indifference to class-based norms. The character delivers sharp-edged humor while simultaneously exposing the undervalued position of female labor. Conchetta Ferrell passed away in 2020 at the age of 77 due to complications following cardiac arrest, leaving a lasting imprint on American television. Charlie Harper emerges as a symbol of the hedonistic man living on the edge between success and self-destruction, portrayed by Charlie Sheen. Born on September 3, 1965, Sheen took on the role at the age of 38, bringing to life a Charlie Harper who is confident, pleasure-seeking, and irresistibly charismatic, the embodiment of a man who earns money easily and spends it without a second thought. Charlie does not unravel publicly. His inner emptiness is revealed through a repetitive lifestyle, an avoidance of commitment, and the fear of growing old alone. At the age of 60, Charlie Sheen is still remembered as a defining figure in portraying the playboy masculinity of early 21st century American television. Evelyn Harper appears as the image of a toxic mother wielding the power of upper-class womanhood, portrayed by Holland Taylor. Born on January 14, 1943, Taylor took on the role at around the age of 60, bringing to life an Evelyn who is sharp, cold, and controlling through language rather than action. Evelyn never needs to raise her voice. Her manipulation is expressed through refined sarcasm, emotional dismissal, and the habitual pattern of wounding her children under the guise of intellect. The character exposes the darker side of female power within affluent families. At the age of 83, Holland Taylor is recognized as one of the most memorable portrayals of a toxic mother in American sitcom history. Walden Schmidt appears as the image of a naive billionaire, embodying an attempt to redefine the male lead archetype after the Charlie Harper era, portrayed by Ashton Kutcher. Born on February 7, 1978, Kutcher took on the role at the age of 33, bringing to life a Walden who is wealthy and kind-hearted, yet emotionally immature, the product of early success paired with limited life experience. Walden does not dramatize his own struggles. His sense of dislocation emerges through a need to be loved, to be validated, and the fear of loneliness. At the age of 48, Ashton Kutcher is recognized as the figure who helped the series transition phases, opening up a different perspective on post-success masculinity. Judith Harper appears as the image of a woman emerging from a failed marriage with a bitter form of feminism, portrayed by Maren Hinkle. Born on March 23, 1966, Hinkle took on the role at around the age of 37, bringing to life a Judith who is perpetually tense, controlling, and filled with resentment, the portrait of a woman deeply wounded by past hurt. Judith does not express her pain directly, instead it manifests through hostility, manipulation, and the need to assert dominance over her ex-husband. The character reflects the darker side of personal liberation when healing is replaced by punishment. At the age of 59, Marion Hinkle is recognized for her ability to portray women who are complex, abrasive, yet profoundly realistic. Rose appears as an image of obsessive love intertwined with the status of a social outsider, portrayed by Melanie Lynskey. Born on May 16, 1977, Lynskey took on the role at around the age of 26, bringing to life a Rose who is outwardly sweet, yet emotionally distorted and relentlessly persistent. Rose is not mad in a loud or overt way. The danger lies in her innocence, her frightening patience, and her absolute faith in her own version of love. The character is both humorous and unsettling, reflecting the fragile boundary between romance and obsession. At the age of 49, Melanie Lynskey is recognized as a rare actress who transformed an eccentric supporting role into an unforgettable figure. Lyndsey McElroy appears as the image of a lonely middle-aged woman embarking on a hesitant journey back into love, portrayed by Courtney Thorne-Smith. Born on November 8, 1967, Thorne-Smith took on the role at around the age of 43, bringing to life a Lyndsey who is fragile, deeply longing, yet riddled with insecurity, the portrait of a woman shaped by past emotional collapse. Lyndsey does not display despair openly. Her loneliness is revealed through emotional dependence and repetitive romantic choices. The character reflects the fear of aging alone that haunts many middle-aged women. At the age of 59, Courtney Thorne-Smith is recognized for embodying emotionally rich, mature female characters on American television. Chelsea appears as the image of the ideal woman within Charlie Harper's world, portrayed by Jennifer Taylor. Born on April 19, 1971, Taylor took on the role at around the age of 37, bringing to life a Chelsea who is beautiful, mature, and capable of making Charlie contemplate long-term commitment. Chelsea is not written as a complex figure. Her idealization lies in representing the stable life Charlie continually desires but is unable to sustain. The character reflects the limits of the perfect woman archetype as seen through the eyes of a hedonistic man. At the age of 55, Jennifer Taylor is remembered as a rare point of balance within Charlie Harper's chaotic world. Dr. Herb Melnick appears as the image of a gentleman who serves as a counterbalance to Ellen Harper, portrayed by Ryan Stiles. Born on April 22, 1959, Stiles took on the role at around the age of 45, bringing to life a Herb who is calm, kind, and somewhat naive, the embodiment of a man whose life is stable both professionally and emotionally. Herb does not dominate through a forceful personality, rather, his presence highlights Ellen's confusion and insecurity. The character represents a model of ordinary, yet enduring masculinity, often overlooked in comedy. At the age of 66, Ryan Stiles is recognized for his ability to add depth to supporting roles that might otherwise seem simple. Jenny Harper appears as a female counterpart to Charlie Harper, raising questions about gender and identity within the same hedonistic value system portrayed by Amber Tamblyn. Born on May 14, 1983, Tamblyn took on the role at around the age of 31, bringing to life a Jenny who is free-spirited, reckless, and alluring in ways that challenge traditional gender norms. Jenny does not feel the need to explain herself. Her very presence exposes the gender bias in how society judges identical lifestyles. The character is both intriguing and controversial, partly because her potential was never fully explored. At the age of 43, Amber Tamblyn is recognized for roles closely associated with feminism and personal identity. Zoey appears as the image of an independent woman shaped by the identity of a single mother in modern society, portrayed by Sophie Winkleman. Born on August 5, 1980, Winkleman took on the role at around the age of 31, bringing to life a Zoey who is intelligent, self-reliant, and consistently firm in maintaining clear boundaries within relationships. Zoey does not sentimentalize her circumstances as a single mother. The character's tension emerges through her efforts to balance love, her child, and the need for self-protection. The character reflects the modern woman's aspiration for independence while also revealing the emotional cost of caution. At the age of 45, Sophie Winkleman is recognized for portraying mature, composed women on American television. Candy appears as a character boxed into the stereotype of being dim-witted, yet she embodies a rare form of pure kindness, portrayed by April Bowlby. Born on July 30, 1980, Bowlby took on the role at around the age of 24, bringing to life a Candy who is naive, sincere, and free of calculation, a woman often underestimated because of her perceived lack of intelligence. Candy does not challenge stereotypes through words. Her kindness and honesty become in themselves a quiet counterforce to the scheming world around her. The character is both humorous and quietly heartbreaking. At the age of 45, April Bowlby is recognized for her ability to transform seemingly foolish roles into deeply humane portrayals. Eldridge McElroy appears as the image of a rebellious teenager, a direct product of a broken family, portrayed by Graham Patrick Martin. Born on November 14, 1991, Martin took on the role at around the age of 17, bringing to life an Eldridge who is indifferent, defensive, and lacking direction, a teenager raised in an environment marked by emotional instability. Eldridge does not rebel for attention. His misalignment reflects the absence of a clear, familial anchor. The character serves as a mirror, reflecting the consequences of fractured adult relationships. At the age of 34, Graham Patrick Martin is recognized for roles that explore the psychological depth of youth. Dr. Linda Freeman appears as the image of a cold intellectual, functioning as a counter-satirical take on modern psychology, portrayed by Jane Lynch. Born on July 14, 1960, Lynch took on the role at around the age of 43, bringing to life a Linda Freeman who is sharp, self-assured, and almost immune to personal emotion. Linda does not heal others. The character's humor lies in exposing the futility and arrogance of intellect when stripped of empathy. She becomes an inversion of expectations surrounding the ideal therapist. At the age of 66, Jane Lynch is recognized as an outstanding figure in transforming emotional detachment and intellect into tools of social satire on American television. Bridget Schmidt is a model of an intellectual woman who possesses a rare form of soft power within the emotionally driven world of Two and a Half Men, portrayed by Judy Greer. Born on July 20, 1975, Judy Greer took on this role at around 36 years of age, bringing to life a Bridget who is calm, sharp, and able to control situations through reasoning rather than emotion. Bridget does not need to impose herself or display jealousy. Her strength lies in her ability to make others adjust themselves in response to her intellectual steadiness. The character demonstrates that female power can exist sustainably without the need for overt display. At the age of 50, Judy Greer is widely recognized for a series of roles portraying intelligent women with rich psychological depth. Mia appears as the image of the artist bound to idealize love, portrayed by Emmanuelle Vaugier. Born on June 23, 1976, Vaugier took on the role at around the age of 30, bringing to life a Mia who is passionate, emotionally intense, and steadfast in her belief that love can transform people. Mia does not ground her emotions in practicality. The character's conflict lies in imposing artistic ideals onto a relationship that is inherently fragile. She reflects the gap between romantic dreaming and everyday reality. At the age of 50, Emmanuelle Vaugier is recognized for portraying women who are emotionally rich, yet marked by deep inner contradictions. Melissa appears as the image of a petite woman who possesses subtle power within relationships, portrayed by Kelly Stables. Born January 24, 1978, Stables took on the role at around the age of 30, bringing to life a Melissa who seems fragile at first glance, but is in fact sharp and adept at controlling situations through emotional initiative. Melissa does not dominate through appearance or status. Her power lies in her quiet ability to steer others' behavior. The character adds a layer of refined humor about forms of strength that are often overlooked. At the age of 48, Kelly Stables is recognized for portraying small-statured women with significant dramatic weight on American television. Larry appears as the image of a lonely man who drifts into the realm of maladaptive fandom, portrayed by D.B. Sweeney. Born on November 14, 1961, Sweeney took on the role at around the age of 50, crafting a Larry who consistently shows up too close, too often, and lacks the ability to read social boundaries. Larry is not dangerous in a direct sense. The discomfort he creates lies in his clinginess and his search for meaning through other people's lives. These behaviors make Larry both pitiable and unsettling, like a man who no longer knows where he belongs. At the age of 64, D.B. Sweeney is recognized for his ability to convincingly portray marginalized male characters. Miss McMartin appears as the image of a career-oriented woman whose brief presence nevertheless carries the imprint of an independent female generation, portrayed by Maggie Lawson. Born on August 12, 1980, Lawson took on the role in her late 20s, bringing to life a Miss McMartin who is neat, professional, and maintains clear boundaries within an environment often dominated by male banter. The character has limited screen time. Her presence primarily serves to highlight the dissonance between a serious professional life and the emotionally driven world surrounding Alan. At the age of 45, Maggie Lawson is recognized for portraying modern, adaptable women on American television. Gordon appears as the image of an ex-boyfriend trapped in conflicts of jealousy, portrayed by J.D. Walsh. Born on July 2, 1977, Walsh took on the role at around the age of 26, constructing a Gordon who is constantly on the defensive, easily provoked, and obsessed with asserting his status in relation to others. Gordon does not express emotion directly. His instability surfaces through barbed remarks and exaggerated reactions. His brief presence is enough to generate friction, exposing how jealousy pushes him toward increasingly uncontrolled behavior. At the age of 48, J.D. Walsh is recognized for leaving a strong impression through conflict-driven supporting roles. Kate appears as the image of a modern woman who chooses to love through reason rather than impulsive emotion, portrayed by Brooke D'Orsay. Born on February 17, 1982, D'Orsay took on the role at around the age of 31, bringing to life a Kate who is intelligent, cautious, and consistently maintains a safe distance in relationships. Kate is not cold. Her restraint stems from a clear awareness of her self-worth and the boundaries that deserve respect. When placed alongside Walden, she becomes a counterbalance to his impulsiveness and emotional naivete. At the age of 44, Brooke D'Orsay is recognized for portraying modern women who are composed, clear-minded, and self-possessed on American television. Courtney appears as the image of a gold digger shaped as a woman who manipulates through emotion and seduction, portrayed by Jenny McCarthy. Born on November 1, 1972, McCarthy took on the role at around the age of 36, bringing to life a Courtney who is outwardly sweet yet calculating and cold in her intentions. Courtney does not impose herself overtly. Her manipulation lies in creating a sense of romance and trust before gradually seizing financial control. The character provokes laughter while also leaving a lingering sense of discomfort due to her moral ambiguity. At the age of 53, Jenny McCarthy is recognized for her ability to turn negatively coded supporting roles into unforgettable highlights. Jake Harper appears as the image of a naive child growing up in front of the camera and gradually slipping into the tragedy of premature maturation, portrayed by Angus T. Jones. Born on October 8, 1993, Jones took on the role when he was only about 10 years old, bringing to life a Jake who is slow-moving, carefree, and largely untouched by the anxieties of the adult world. As Jake grows older, that innocence does not evolve into resilience, but instead drifts into disorientation and fatigue. The character illustrates the cost of growing up in an environment lacking clear guidance. At the age of 32, Angus T. Jones is often cited as a representative case of child stardom and the pressures of early maturity in American television. And now it's time to bring this emotional journey to a close. No matter how much time passes, the laughter and legacy of Two and a Half Men remain as strong as ever. These characters didn't just bring us joy, they became cherished memories for generations of viewers. Thank you for joining Famous Rewind. Don't forget to like, share, and return as we continue revisiting the legends who shaped television history.